Okay, so we're obviously moved to the inside of the camper now. Bunks are pulled out, and that completes the setup outside of your checklist. Inside, unpacked floor space. Well, we often have a lot of things in our floor space. The hallway, if you will, if you want to call it that, is a bulk storage area for us. And so just to get in and move around, we often come in and take out things that have to be done inside of here. A lot of that we've already done. I'll go ahead and move our gray water container out. Place it delicately above the ground. She's laughing at me. And go with that. Okay, so set up kitchen sink, confirm lights come on. So Sheree, can you see? Probably can't see. Okay, well right now there's a light behind here, behind the door. Now I'm hitting the switch and there's no light shining on my hands. Okay, just trust me.
Can't see it.
Trust me, just the lights are not on at this time, okay? The reason why they're not on is because over here, there's these two power cutoff switches right here. And these, when it blows the curtain, these two switches have to be depressed in order for the lights to come on. These lights get depressed, these switches get depressed when the sink is placed in. The reason for this is a safety feature. When they used to have hot lights in here as opposed to what I replaced all the lights with LED lighting. They save tremendously on batteries, oh my gosh. And so they're very hot, they were very hot, the old lights that were in here, and if you put it down with hot, conceivably it was a fire risk, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's in theory why that's supposed to be there. Okay, so the first item here is set up kitchen sink and confirm lights come on. So I'm going to grab down here and lift up. This is going to pivot around. I'm going to take my hand back behind here and grab the hoses. See them? You're leaning. It's cute. And try to make sure. It's there. And the lights are now on. You can't see, but they're on right here. And so that means that the switch is in place and we're good. That's set up the sink to go with that. Next is to set up the door. So often this is a two-man operation. Once you angle towards the ceiling, and then you want to, okay, be in the shop for a second. That's fine. Okay, we will attempt to show you how we do it. You can do it by yourself. This is the door, obviously. There's 4 connections. I'm going to go ahead and free them. Sheree's going to get the last one there on the outside. It's going to drop into her hands. I'm going to get the last one here. Okay, it's not very heavy, by the way. And drop down. Okay, don't you let it drop. There you go, good. Okay, and it's going to drop right into a metal door channel. There's a door channel at the bottom, and there's a metal lip at the top. Sheree, can you hold the door right there 1 second? Okay. I'm going to attempt to get you a view over here. There's a metal channel right here at the top, and there's a metal channel at the bottom. Go ahead and get your fingers out, Sheree. Okay, and I lift it up slightly, hook in the top channel, and it drops down and into place, and the Velcro goes along the sides here. Sheree, you want you to do the Velcro on both sides, please? We'll get there. Now, as you probably are aware, Amy, although technically the door locks, you can pop the Velcro, reach inside, and unlock it. So that has no meaning. There is what we call the drawbridge that I'll show you that does lock. That has some value, and I say some because you could always just take a pocket knife and cut through the wall to go with that. So use your own judgment. We've had great luck, knock on Formica, that we've not had anything stolen out of the camper in whatever number of years of using it. So that's that. Okay. Hello, who is it? It's Sheree. Hello, Sheree. All right. So let's see. We have now done the door. Okay. Zip all corners. Excuse me. Zip all corners. So the corner braces are here. Not braces. The corner zippers. So now's a good time to go through and zip all 4 corners. This one with the door is very snug. Sometimes I have to fiddle back and forth with Velcro and zipper back and forth a few times. It's nice that it's snug, but it's snug as I go through and do that. Sheree's going to do the 2 in the back corner, and I'll flip on a light in here because it's a little dark. Okay. While she's doing that behind over there, I'm going to do the next item on the list, which is set up mount braces.
The thing is.
Okay, so we're doing the 4 corners. So some of the zippers, this is a good example of one that are snug. And so I try to stop the zipper with about a hand's. That's far enough unzipped. It doesn't have to be all the way up. It got accidentally unzipped and I had to fiddle with it. Okay, so I usually just don't unzip this one all the way as a heads up. And there are several things like this on this camper. It was that way actually the day that we got it. I'm told it's normal. You have to kind of work your way around some of the posts to do some of these things. and go with that, and there you go. So there's the zipping part. Let's go ahead and go on to doing bunk braces. Okay, so next is setting up the bunks, or finishing up the bunks, but what are called the bunk braces. And so the bunk braces are stored underneath the mattresses at each end. So it's kind of a white pipe that looks like this. I'm gonna have to get the camera. And it's got a black fitting at one end, and it's got a V shape at the other, and the V shape's going to go into the ceiling, which is right like this. So take the black end, I always put 1 inch on first, press, pop it into place. You want to probably make sure that the outside fabric is as loose as possible before you do this. If you've already tightened down the Velcro on the outside, this is not going to work. Okay, so you want everything loose on the outside first before you do this. You should be able to push it until it's there. It does take a little bit of pressure, and then there's 3 hooks. I use the loosest one. Lean into it, and it should pop into one of the hooks. Okay, if you're really leaning into it and things are pressing, you probably want to check the outside and go with that. Jake, can you hand me the list? We'll see what's next. Alright, so set up the bunk braces and go forth from there. Alright, let's go ahead and pause and we'll go to the other end. Okay, so we're actually finishing up the outside setup. I don't see an item for this on the list, so you may want to add it, but these individual flaps need to be secured. Okay, so I'm not sure if I ever looked at it or if I'm just not seeing it at the moment. So basically this is a Velcro piece, and this lines up. And there's a small ladder that we're giving you, because we are hobbits, and when hobbits go camping, hobbits need ladders. That's important. So you go in, and basically just kind of tuck, 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 and kind of go like this all the way down. And Amy, when you had set this up with me once before, you had asked, how does this line up? And it seems to vary every time. Sometimes the blue matches the blue, sometimes they're, but it's not, they're not totally consistent. So as long as it's connected, it's probably good. Alright, so other items are out here. Let's talk about this whole panel right here. So there is a freshwater tank inside of the camper. You know that. There is no gray water tank. Okay? And there's no black tank because there's no toilet. Well, not, really. Inside there. There's a porta potty we'll talk about in a second. So let's talk about some of the logistics here. This is your sink, where your sink drains. This is your gray water right here. You got it? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I'll be giving you a 7-gallon gray water tank. This is what I've set up for to go through. This is not for drinking water. This is gray water. There are clear blue ones that are for drinking water. And this is a cut-off piece of hose that attaches, and your gray tank is now set up. If you wash dishes in the sink, or do you wash your hands or whatever, and you let it drain down the sink, this is where it's going to drain to. To be honest, sometimes we just don't bother setting it up. We just don't use the sink sometimes. But if you want to, that's how it works. So if you're hooking up city water, which by the way, city water hooks up right here. So this is where your white hose will plug in and go in from there. And then additionally, if you wanted to fill your freshwater tanks, then they would go over here. So this is your freshwater fill right here. You put it in your tanks. I'm sipping the tanks dry. If you want to use your freshwater tanks to drink out of, make it potable water, you can do that. I can send you a link to a video. You need to do 1 or 2 things. At least 2 things. You need to sterilize. That's the one thing you need to do. You can either use bleach, and I can send you a video if you want that on how to do bleach, or you can go the slightly more expensive route if you want, but it's the one I use, which is using the same stuff I use for backpacking, which is called Aquamira, A-Q-U-A-M-I-R-A, Aquamira. And I buy the stuff that's designed to treat 55-gallon drums of water. And I just put it in triple strength and mix it in, and then basically I do it on a time when I'm going to drive the camper down a twisty road, and that way it splashes all over the place, and I run it through the hot water tank, and I run it through the sink, and I run it through everything, and I run it through the water pump and do the whole bit, and then in my opinion it's sterilized, and we've drunk water out of that for several years, and we've had good luck. But your tanks are dry and will need to be cleaned if you want to do that. I don't winterize with antifreeze. Other folks have. We haven't had the camper in a bitterly freezing environment. We had it in the garage, and the garage got below freezing the year we got down to like 2 degrees. Things were freezing in the garage, but I didn't have any trouble. You'll have to use your own judgment. I don't know how cold it gets for you and so forth. It's conceivable that there is water inside of the hot water heater right now, because even though I drained it, it could still be some in there, as an example, or perhaps somewhere in the lines. I just don't know that. If you want to go through the effort, you can look online about putting antifreeze through the whole system and doing that. Your choice. You can figure out that part to do. I haven't done that. Okay, so there's that. This is the outside of the hot water heater. These two panels are the outside of the refrigerator. So this is one you probably won't ever be in here, or not often. This is the refrigerator. Let me jump down here and talk about this. So imagine that we're hooked up on shore power right now. So we've hooked up at least 15 volts. You probably want to zoom in on this street. So this is a three-way individual three-way power fridge. Really common. So 12 volt, 110 volt, propane are your three-way fridge options here. Okay. So just to kind of go through, most normally what you're going to end up doing is just flipping the switch on for going to a 12 volt, or sorry, to 110 volt, or perhaps running on 12. You're not supposed to run them at the same time, so pick one or the other. I don't know what the consequences are. But there, it says, attention, turn on only one energy source at a time. If you want to run off of propane, then you have to press for your pilot, it gets the gas going, and then manually spark it to go through and do it. I always want to know that it's actually lit, although I can often hear it. I'll show you if you can get right up to the top. This is the chimney right here where my finger is, this black thing, and this is where you're going to have hot air coming out here if the propane is burning. Okay, and so if you can feel heat up here, then you know you can release your pilot and let your pilot run. It's just like getting in a pilot light. I think you get the basic idea there. So this is the compartment for your refrigerator, and it gets really cold. Particularly, it just takes a while to get cold, and so if you can pre-chill it, then you should be good to go. Do that part. So that's kind of that. So there's little twisty pieces with that. Okay, this is your outside of your furnace. This gets stinking hot when you're going through doing it. This is where somehow this is supposed to attach on there. That's the piece that I mentioned in that part. I'm going to stand up and go over here. This is your electrical service. So this is your 30 amp, and this is probably a 15-foot cord, and I'm giving you a dog bone with it. So now it's set up to drop down. You probably won't be able to run the air conditioner on just running a individual piece, basically the 110 volts of this. You might be able to. I don't know that you should. You could certainly run the fan on it, but the full air-blown air conditioner, you're not. I don't think you're supposed to go with that. But anyway, so full 30 amp service. That's the full blown. You can run your air conditioner on high. Do the whole bit with there. There's your dog bone connector, as they call it, and that's that. So this, of course, goes into here, and you have to kind of quarter it around a little bit. Don't push it too far, it'll pop in there. And there you go, there's that one. Okay, so once all four of those are set up, and perhaps you get your external things set up, the only other things that are here would be awning. I'll talk about the awning in just a little bit. Pause this a second.